What do you feel about mandatory shutdowns? Not like, I think you should stay home. We're advising everyone to stay home. And this is the truth. I'd like to hear your honest opinion. To me, there's a line that's crossed between, listen, guys, I really think we should all stay home. Like, that's best. Look out for the people that are vulnerable, and saying you have to shut down.
What are your thoughts on that, Mac?
What is your thoughts on, like, the government saying you have to shut down and you cannot?
Because this is I think it shows I think the wisdom in how our government is set up, because Mac doesn't make the law, but he enforces it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if someone makes the law, they don't enforce it.
Oh, wait, yeah, you may not be able to answer this question.
No,
he's fine.
I think I can answer. I just got to be careful the way I answer.
What your thoughts were. I mean, you're not speaking on behalf of...
Because, do you see what I'm saying? The difference, not suggestion. I'm not asking, should we stay home? But the question is, how do we feel about somebody saying you cannot have customers?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't at all. And I don't think that's within their power to. I don't think that they should be allowed to. Now, I won't speak on it as far as police half goes, but as a citizen, no, sir, I'm not about that. Not at all.
It fires me up. I just
so my thing is, how would you do that? You can't. Are you going to throw people in jail?
Like, what are you talking about, Al? Are you talking about you can't leave your house at all? Or
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about, like, you have a brick and mortar clothing store. In this shutdown in Davidson County, you, by law now, because of this order, you cannot have your doors open. Now, you can sell online if you want to.
So the only way that I actually foresee that being possible is if the health department came in.
Well, there's a difference in, I guess there's a difference in enforcement. But at least at this point, they're saying, unless you're an essential business.
Which restaurants are listed as?
Restaurants are listed. There are, anybody like in the automotive, they're essential. But, like, take out those. There are a lot of businesses, at least in theory, they're saying you cannot be open.
Well, so
go ahead.
But in a sense, they
technically
are open.
Technically, the building that we're open, they're saying you can't work from home.
Most businesses, I think you can do from home.
Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, take that aside. Take away the ability.
So you're saying that you can't even conduct
a restaurant, for example.
You can't conduct a business.
I'm just saying, okay, even if you could work from home, how do you feel about the ability that the government can say you cannot go into your brick and mortar building and conduct business?
Okay, well, let me give you my thoughts on it.
I don't think they would. I don't know, man.
They're saying they can.
Well,
I'm not saying they're going to enforce it, but I'm just saying at this point.
But go with me just for a little bit here, okay? On your point, okay? Don't you think it's one of the very few good arguments for a government? Because under normal operating circumstances, we don't need the government as much as we get them now. Okay, listen. I'm not anti-government or anything like that, but I tend to be a little bit more libertarian. Okay, so I'm okay with a smaller government, but they do have a place.
They do,
and they do have a place.
I agree that they have a place.
And who else is going to do it, Alan? Like, if there is a pandemic, just go with me. Let's set aside how bad this pandemic is, how fatal it is, who it's going to kill, who it's going to hurt. All of this. You just set that aside. If there's a pandemic going aside and the government doesn't have the right or the ability to say, no, you can't go into his store because when you do that, you come in contact and you both get sick, and then you're going to make through other people sick, and that's going to compound. It's going to kill us all. If they don't have that right or that ability, who does? Who's supposed to?
Who should? Like, look, okay, so you're telling me...
That's what we have the government there for, is to protect us.
The government is here to protect us from other companies.
You and I don't know very much about COVID-19. I don't know anything about what I'm supposed to do to be safe right now. I don't know anything about what it takes to treat this.
So the government is
saying... I don't know anything about, like, how quick this spreads, who it's going to kill, who it's going to hurt. I don't know anything about that. So I'm trusting, like, the government does know some things about it because they're in touch with the health agencies. But a health agency should not have the ability to tell Mac, like, he can't go somewhere because they're not, like, that's not under their jurisdiction. That's why we have the government. So
I disagree.
I'm not giving my thoughts on whether they should do it right now because I don't understand the situation enough to know whether they should do it right now or not. I'm saying at a high level, though, should they have the ability, if there is a pandemic that is spreading through people because they're coming too close to contact with each other, should the government have the ability to say, no, that's not a good idea, let's take a season and let's not get too close to each other, I don't see a problem with that.
I'm 150% the other way.
Because
to me, like, is the government ever proven themselves competent enough to say, we know better than you?
No.
And we know better than you, so we're going to dictate what you can and can't do in America.
I just want you to know that I'm on both of you sides.
No, but listen.
I don't know where to fall. I'm with both of you.
No, listen. Here's my point. Here's the reason that I would say what I just said is correct because of what happened in China and what happened in South Korea. So what happens in China is people aren't sitting around like, oh, I wonder if they have this ability in China. Like, I don't want to live in China for some of these exact same reasons. But I'm just saying the government basically does whatever they need to do over there.
Yeah.
And the same in South Korea for the large part. And if they had not, Alan, like taken those drastic measures, you would not see right now in China, you're seeing the recoveries plus the deaths are actually getting pretty close to the total cases. Now, why is that? It's because they took big lockdown measures, separated people, and if they hadn't, bro, it would still be hockey sticking
to be
like
fair, though, if
crazy
the government
over
would have done what they were supposed to be in China, it probably would not be this bad.
I agree.
Well,
To be fair.
that's just more. But that goes against Alan's point. He's saying let people do what they want. That's what they were doing.
So that's what I was going to say. To some extent, I don't like it at all. But then to another extent, if you know that this can kill people, and you don't know if you have it, I mean, how reckless is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So to what extent does the government need to have a force or a level of being able to shut things down?
Yep.
Because, I mean, what if you have people out here throwing COVID-19 parties? Like, seriously, that's a real thing. I was reading an article about it yesterday. They're literally throwing parties, and they've already traced it back to several cases of these people getting it at.
What do you mean a COVID-19 party?
They're like quarantine parties.
Like they're getting
just
together?
Mass gatherings at people's houses.
They're getting together?
I'm dead serious.
You're kidding me.
I'm dead serious.
I actually I read an article on one.
Wait. Is it so they can specifically spread COVID-19?
No, just party. Just no.
I mean, you're saying it's a COVID-19 party. I mean, I'm just wondering what they're doing
This
here.
is my thing. Should they be able to do it? Maybe. Should it be a criminal charge if you don't follow it?
Okay, I
should
agree
be-
with that. I agree with that,
No,
Alan.
like, if there's no criminal, if there's no repercussion, what is it about? Like,
So that's the other point. If it's no
there's
criminal
a law, it's like telling my kid, like, don't you do this, but there's no repercussions, then it's not real. Like, if you have to either say it's one or the other. Like, either it's a criminal
does have a point,
offense,
yeah.
or it's not. You can't, like, otherwise it's just empty
not
promises.
real. Like speeding is not a criminal offense.
You
right?
get a ticket.
Sure,
you get
do.
punishment.
You can give those people tickets.
It's a criminal offense. You get a
do,
ticket.
Do that, but I'm not saying. But that's different than throwing them in jail. That's different than a felony. Like there's a whole
but where does it?
range
Here's the
there.
deal. Like, look, stupid is not illegal. like at what point do we
Neither is
say
being crazy.
now? Yeah, you know, like I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, hey, we could get into. There's a lot of big debates between. We could go on. We could have a whole podcast about vaccines, right? That, you know, people on hardcore on both sides,
Right.
And I have
And one of them is
I have a
wrong.
very strong position on my side. But you know what I also say? This is America. And if you disagree with me, you have the right to disagree with me. This is America. And the government shouldn't be able to force you to do what you want to do or
But
don't
listen,
want to do.
The problem with your argument, Alan, is that your argument only makes sense at scale. It does not make sense when you bring it down to one person. If I was the only person with COVID-19 and I was the only person that had it and everyone knew that I had it and whoever I got in contact with, they could not spread it. If I got in contact with you, you could not spread it, okay? But I could infect you and you had a 4% chance of dying. And the government was like,
And
all
you
right.
willingly went down.
And I willingly went wherever I want. I had people over. People knew I had COVID-19. The government knew it. The cops knew it. And they were letting me walk around Lower Broadway. No one would let that person walk around.
Here's where I think I disagree, though. Here's
What's
where
the
here's where I
difference?
think you're wrong. If I'm worried about it, I can keep my ass at home.
No, but
If
that's
I-
not going to happen. That's
Look,
not going to
We're
happen.
not talking about what's actually going to happen. If I'm worried about COVID-19, nothing is keeping me from going out of the house. If I'm worried about it, I have the right to quarantine myself.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a difference in saying, I want to be able to go outside, I want to be able to go to the park, and you not come. Like, if I'm worried
But
about
listen,
it, it's
listen,
my
here-
responsibility.
Again, but here, what you're after is correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're after all of the freedoms, all of the benefits without any of the consequences. And you can't have that. Listen to what I'm saying, though. If everyone gets COVID-19 or 50% of America gets COVID-19 and 4% of them die, like your life's
a lot
not,
of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, and your life's not going to be the same. Like you're going to have your house. Okay, you'll have your house, but guess what? Your electricity's not going to be the same anymore. Your yard guy's not going to be the same. Your painter's not going to be the same. You have a vehicle, right? Well, auto dealerships aren't going to be the same anymore. Taxes aren't going to be the same. Like, yeah, you're going to get your house, you're going to get your privacy, but America's not going to be the same anymore.
Absolutely not.
Like you like to live here. Why do we like to live here? Because of the way the laws are set up. Like government has its place.
I'm not against the government. I'm really not against the government. I think that the government is a very good thing. Okay. But there is a difference between the government stepping in and saying, I'm going to force how you conduct your business to that degree. Like and what I'm saying that is like, here you're talking about, I want to have all the freedoms without the consequences. I think that I should have the right to stay home if I'm worried about it. And I have the right to go out. I don't have the right to bitch while getting COVID-19, but also choosing to go out. If I go out, I'm taking the responsibility if I get it. Like, does that
it does make sense, but here's the thing, though. They're already, if you think about it this way, Alan, from a small business, they are already totally 100% dictating with what you do with about 40 to 45% of your business. Okay. Every day, all day, since you and I have been alive, the number's sometimes been a little bit less. The number of times has sometimes been a little bit more. But we're not talking about that. It's taxes is what I'm talking about.
I think, here's the thing, though.
So they're already deep in your pockets,
But
bro.
I don't agree with that either.
I'm going to side with him just for a second.
Go ahead.
Just for a second. Think about restaurant businesses. Most of them are privately owned. Would we agree with that?
Yes.
Most of them, they can conduct their business however they want to. So they can let in who they want to and when they want to. So if they were so concerned about it, they could limit themselves instead of the government having. So I think I get what you're saying. If you're so concerned about it, you can stay at home. Mm-hmm. If you're so concerned about it, well, you can put requirements for those who can come in and who can come out.
Right.
So is that kind of where you're coming from?
Yeah, exactly. And
so I kind of get what he's saying.
I get what he's saying too. It's just the thing is, though, is if you didn't have any sort of procedures in place, this thing spreads like wildfire. And guess where the blame goes? The government. So, I mean, you can think about it. You can think about it like, you know, I get what you're saying. Like, do they have the rights? But also, like, let's give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I don't know that there's a big conspiracy going on here. I don't know that anyone's trying to like, they're just like I'm glad I'm not running a country right now because this must be difficult. You know what I mean? So if you don't do anything, you're the bad guy. If you do something, you're a bad guy. Like at some point, you just got to take some action.
I think that here's the reality. Like I go out and I conduct showings. Now I do the precautions. I do all the things. We do this hand sanitizer before we go in. We do the hand sanitizer before we go out.
Elbow handshake?
We do an elbow handshake. Yeah, that's what we do. We're taking precautions.
Yep.
But here's the deal. I have a feeling, this is my opinion, and this is an opinion, that too many times what we want to do is, I realize that even though I'm doing the elbow thing and I'm hand sanitizing, I still have the opportunity to get the COVID.
And you have a huge opportunity, bro. Absolutely.
Here's what I'm getting at, though. If I get it, I'm not going to bitch about it. Mm-hmm. I took that risk.
Right.
But here's the problem. People like myself want to go out. They want to take the risk. And then something happens. They get sick. And then they want to bitch at somebody else.
Yeah.
That's where I have a problem.
I appreciate that. 100%.
You know what I mean? Like to me, like I'm understanding that, yes, I'm doing this. I went across the street. We're helping the old lady across the street, and she got a fever the other day, right? Thankfully, that's not what it was. But I helped her knowing that I had the risk of getting something.
Did she get tested, or how do they know?
She got tested.
Really?
She wasn't it.
But
you see what I'm saying, though? Look, I took that risk, but
right.
I can't complain to somebody else.
Right.
Like that's the problem is everybody wants to, everybody wants other people to make the decisions for them. And then blame other people if something bad happens.
So you're on Kid Rock's side because he refused to close his bar.
100%.
Did you see that?
Yeah, 100%. I'm okay.
But that's his right to.
It's his right to. And if
it
you're
probably
worried about
is,
it,
but don't you just feel like an ass at that point?
You see, now that's where I side with you. You just have to, because there's no way, there's not a chance that no one did not catch it while they were at their bar.
Okay,
As dirty as that bar is,
Yeah.
come on. And as close as people are in that bar,
And here's the deal.
And also,
Look,
it's an unfair advantage because here's like your 25 competitors
Yep.
within a quarter mile are shut down, and you're not going to. Like, it's like, come on, dude.
well, okay,
Really?
okay.
you know,
so
at
he-
least 4 people got it from there.
And
At
look,
least.
and I'm not saying he should have, and I'm not saying he should have or shouldn't have closed down. This is not about like what should have happened. What I'm arguing is, should he have been able to do it?
Yeah.
Is it his right?
Yeah,
I'm not saying should he have closed.
Yeah.
He probably should have. That's not what I'm arguing.
you're-
And that's what the hard
I'm
part
arguing,
is.
Right.
should he have had the opportunity?
Should they? Yes. But he should have the
Should
opportunity.
and could is two different things.
Yes.
Right. You're saying at the root of it, Alan, is you're saying, should the government have the ability to close down a business to stop a pandemic? And you don't think that they should?
No. I just don't.